This one I call my called the pink blanket. It has a reason near the end of the story, and I tried to fit this in about a 10 minutes or so. But when I got picked up for heroin on the second time. Now, when I'm saying I'm getting picked up, people, I'm not getting picked up with colossal amounts of Nicaraguan kilos of Colombian heroin. Okay, I'm a dime bag, homeless, shoeless loser on the street, busk, doing whatever it takes to get what we call dime bags. It costs £10, and they hold you off for a couple hours, and then you need another £10, and that's how it is. And I was at that point in my life. And these stories aren't to glorify anything, but they are stories, and they're part of my life. And one of them was this pink blanket. And I'll never forget, I got picked up and I missed the court date from the first time I got picked up. And in England, they got big prisons there. And they got a prison there called the Wormwood Scrubs. It is the oldest. It's older than even the one that's in Shawshank Redemption. It's one of the oldest European prisons. It's not in Russia. It's old, this prison. And the scary part is in the middle, where they build prisons from the middle out. There's the area where they used to hang the people back in those days. So I had a great view of that. And I'll never forget getting picked up. And from the time you get arrested to process to getting sent to some form of punishment or where you're going to be, this here, let me turn my light down a bit. This process is a day. This process takes a little bit of time, right? And so, you are busted high. And then a couple hours later, you're in a holding cell and you're waiting, and it's a long wait. So if you get busted at 9 o'clock in the morning, by the time you are in the scrubs and just been sentenced there for holding, which is a prison, and the van comes or the bus, that's 12 hours. So you're in full withdrawal. So you're sitting in soaking, stinking underwear, your pants, you're in handcuffs. You got idiots trying to talk to you about, hey, dude, what did you do to get in here? You don't want to talk because your brain is going ding, bang, pong, ping, pang. Your emotions are all over the place. You're shivering. You got goosebumps, but it's sweltering hot out. The sun is roasting, but it is minus 50 and you're shaking. And the one thing about I found with withdrawal is you're wet. And it's a weird wet. It's a weird sweat. It's like you're just not dry, right, Cash? He wouldn't know because this little guy would never do that. So I remember after a long day, they said, we're pissed off at you, Paul. We're going to hold you in the scrubs. Little old Edmonton here. Now, when you go to the scrubs, you are going into doors like San Quentin. I'm tattooed everywhere in the head, so I'm trying to act like, yeah, I'm shitting myself. I am. I'm not that tough, man. I'm not built for this shit. I like to get high, and that was it. And I'll never forget, they get you downstairs and there's processing. So you're still withdrawing. Before the doctor puts anything under your tongue, which is usually methadone, they can do that right away. And you see the methadone thing and the people getting it, and it works instantly. So you're waiting, and it's horrible. This is such a horrible life when I think of it. But it's easy to talk about, and maybe it could be some people might go, "Holy fuck, that guy's an idiot. I'll never do that." Good. And I'll never forget the time I'm sitting there, and the most camp nurse is like, sweetie, it's gonna be so, by the time I get you through here, listen, if you don't let me take your vitals now, it's gonna take longer, and sweetie, I promise you'll be in that bed cuddled up, fast asleep as soon as you let me do my work. Now let me do my work. And he was such a nice guy to me, and a guy who enjoyed his job because I think it showed a bit of caring. Because when people are in withdrawal, you'll get the odd asshole, but you're a melted. I just need more kind of guy. Help! I just wet my pants. I think I pooped them. It's all that kind of thing. So I remember him getting there, and the whole time, if he would say to me, "Your age, December 5th night. When am I getting my methadone? How tall are you? I am 5'7.5". When am I getting my? They would say, "Shut up." The quick we get it, and there's literally a lady with, and they do this on purpose at the end there with a tray of them. And 10 milligrams of methadone will make you comfortable. And that's a really big word in that world. The word I want to be comfortable because you want to thing. And I'll never forget getting to that line. And then there's another word. I think it's going to hold me off. There, it's another lingo term, as if to say, yeah, that should hold me. Meaning, I got to go up to my cell now. And you will be, once you get held, all about abuse of your body and you're not eating on the street and stuff like that. And they get you medicated level, and they get you in your scrubs in this weird underwear, the worst slippers in the world. They get you your blanket, and when you're withdrawn, you carry that shit like an army bag, full backpack, and you're taking it up those stairs in that prison. There's no elevators there. And I remember the one guy gave me my bag, and if I was to describe the knee joint where my knee is and when it bent, I was 100 years old. And it is a bit military, so no leaning on the wall. File in line. All right, you guys are going to Conybeare. That's a ward. It's like, like a ward in the hospital. They call it Conybeare. So it's people that committed crimes, but they're active addicts, so they have to be dealt with medically. And the first thing I said when they opened the door, and I see a movie and everything, I screamed it out. I'm like, this is like Shawshank Redemption in here. The guard loved me. I don't know, we were joking around Canada and fishing, and he goes, I've never heard it like that. And he goes, it is kinda, hey? The prison's over 120 some years old, so my cell was made with bricks before the World War One. They're just concrete, and then they're metal beds. And I'll never forget, I got in there, and they have a TV and a remote, and your welcoming dinner, and the older prisoners make you this dinner, is an actual nice one. You get the shitty food the next day and that, but the first one they call it welcoming, so it'll be like lasagna, lots of starches, man, lots of protein, like bars, lots of granola, lots of pastas, lots of potato. If you got chicken pasta, you got a little bit of chicken, and then it's like cream sauce and pasta, and then a chunk of bread, like the ones they break off in like the World War II old videos, and you're eating it. TV wasn't bad, full cable, full remote, and I got cell 79, and I had, when the new guys come up, they put all the new guys into their cells. So this was the first time they've shaved my head, because I was homeless, so my hair kind of grew and it covered the tattoo, and I got shaved and everything. So it was first time in a while where I actually was like, I need to be here. I didn't hate it in there. And I thought to myself, I didn't learn much. I wasn't in there long enough, but I knew that this was the place for me, and that I need to get help. Now, there's no way I'm getting out. And when I found out, when I got my methadone, it was 10 milligrams, so 10 mil. Now, I've got a $500 a day habit, so 10 mil is a puff and blow it out really quick, and that's about it. So you gotta make it last, but because the psychology of it, it's how long it's gonna last. You become hypochondriac on everything that you're doing. Everything is like, how much? Really, 10 meals? When do I get 15? When they would give me 20? When do I get to 25? It's just your life is based around this stuff and maintenance to get up. Because you literally can't survive the next day. And I remember getting up there, and the guy, I remember having a lot of chats with the guard, and I get along with a lot of people. And I got along with this guy because he went to Canada and he loved it there. He wanted to know, what the hell am I doing out here? He says, you're in scrubs. What are you doing here? And we talked. And he told me it was like a foam mattress, memory foam, a metal bed, and he says, you'll be by yourself. And I love that. I want my own cell. I didn't want to deal with someone beside me and their habits, the open toilet. I had a curtain around my toilet, so if I had to go number two, I could pull the curtain, so I had my own cell. And then they decided, and when you're during COVID, everybody had to stay in their cells. I was in my cell 23 and a half hours a day, and then I was led to a concrete gate, like a concrete circle, and I'd walk for half an hour in a circle with tall fence. Like, you would think I was a mass murderer, but they had to do, this is all around COVID, and they had to do the best they can. Very little prisoner things. Guys would yell and talk or whatever. But for some reason, when they saw my tattoos and my accent, right away they thought I was in a gang. And Mr. Think Fast here, I thought, where should I say I'm from? Like, the guards don't tell you where you're from. And I'm like, LA. Holy shit, dude, no way. What are you doing here? No way, what are you tats on your head? What are you, one of them SA guy? Yeah. And on and on. But the reason why I call this whole session the pink blanket is because I'll never forget, I wanted more blankets. And he said, trust me tonight, you're going to be uncomfortable. And I said, why? And he said, you're going to start sweating it out, boy. And my window on the third floor of the prison had pane glass from the 1900s. But one of my pane glasses was gone, so I could look out to the moonlight, and I could see the central part of the prison, and you hear the horn, bedtime, blah blah blah, and all that. Right out of like Shawshank. I was shooting a movie in my head. I was like, this is a movie. And I'll never forget the blanket, and it was pink. And he gave me a pink, and he says, I'll give you one for the bed. And he said, hug it, the blanket. Don't cover yourself with it, because you're going to sweat, and it'll just get wet. And you'll get a chill. And this guard showed me how to experience withdrawal to try to get it comfortable because of the levels of temperature the body goes through. So how I did it was I'd lay on my side, fetal position, tuck the blanket between my legs and I'd cuddle it, and then I'd let the cool air from the window kind of keep me cool. I was completely naked. I took all my clothes off. I didn't care if you were a female guard or you were checking up on me. I was just naked on my bed because clothes just stuck. They just stuck to you. And it's a different kind of sweat, and it's a different kind of wet. And it's not like a BO. You just cannot get dry. And I remember him telling me, he goes, in 7 days, I want you to tell me how you feel. And I went through day 1. Day 2, it was shitty. I was walking around naked with the thing around, waiting for the food to come under the door. I'd eat the food. I watched so much. There was one thing about that prison anyways. You got full cable TV, full TV, all the movie channels. I just sat and watched TV. I gained a pound a day in there, probably eating what the food. They give you 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. And then you can trade food because you get out to go to the shower. And then on your way down, you can have, I used to have these coconut bars that I loved. And I would trade my chocolate chip granola bars. This guy downstairs would like to give me the coconut bars. Big business in prison. Coconut bars and granola bars. And I'll never forget that pink sheet. I'll never forget it. And I remember hugging it all the time, and it was always kind of damp, and then I'd dry it out for a bit, and I'd switch. Yeah, and you're frantically trying to get comfortable. And every day that you go downstairs, there's a 15-minute overlap, so level 4 goes downstairs. You get your methadone, you get your antidepressant, or whatever else you're going through in your freaking life, and you get your blood done, your blood pressure. For the first 11 days, you're like in scrubs and whatever you want to, yeah, that kind of thing. And I'll never forget, there was some really nice nurses there. And I did find one thing about prison: they have every opportunity in there for you to get your life back on track. There is no reason why you can't leave there without a flat, clean, a bit of money coming in every month, and a job, and done. You can do it in your first run. Of course, there was guys in the 60s in there, and when you're on this stuff, it was thing. I remember the first night crying, and I remember holding the blanket, and I faced the wall, and I spoke to God, and I said, if you can take away this pain in my joints right now, because I don't know if anyone's ever had the tightening up of the calves. I was punching my calves with a full fist and the back of my heel on the other calf, because they seize, and they would seize up. They'd lock up like muscle, and it was terrible pain. And I remember it was so bad that I said, God, if you could take this away from me, I'll never do it again. And he didn't take it away. And I know the reason why he didn't, because he already knew I was going to do it again. Sadly, it wasn't enough. I had, when you get arrested, I remember, because of COVID, there was a lot going on in prisons. I wasn't going to do big time. But the one thing I did notice with it is they were a lot of shuffling. And I remember when I was released, and I earned money in there a little bit, not much, just cleaning and that. And I left with about 40 some pounds, which is about $80. And at the corner of the prison on the outside was a payphone. Yeah. And when I got out of there, I had nothing in my system. No heroin, no crack, no drugs. I was completely clean. And that guard said to me, this is so up to you right now, man. This can be the next 25 years of your life or the next week. And I chose the next week, and I continued. And that's the story of the pink sheet. And I'll never forget that experience in prison. And there were guys doing 14 years, and then there's a guy beside me doing 12, and I couldn't imagine that. And guys doing 10 years talking about what they're going to do when they get out. It's a lifestyle. And I remember when they released me, and you walk outside, and then there's this long little bit there to this gate that a semi-trailer can go through. It's like an iron gate. It moves like steel, like with a rotary and everything. And I remember when it opened, it's so beautiful, and I saw kids and people crossing the road and getting on with life. And I remember thinking, like, everybody in there, man, they got nothing. You know, I got more stories. The pink sheet.